Hello, Rebecca here, filming for Peartree Cutfiles for the March 2021 Cyber Crop. And today I'm making a sample for the technique challenge, which is to add mixed media to a cut file. So I'm using this lovely Chasing Rainbows cut file from the March release, and I've decided to use some of this Sun-Kissed collection by the Cocoa Vanilla Studios. So it's new to me and I was dying to use it. Also, I think a lot of the icons and sort of images in that collection really suit that particular cut file as well. So there I've been plotting out where I want my things to go and just tearing my paper. I've started adding my mixed media to the cut file. I've dampened that paper first with some water. That is the Vicky Boutin foundation paper that I've used to cut that cut file. I find if I start with yellow when I'm painting a rainbow, it stops the other colours from getting muddy, rather than going from red and going across to purple. It helps to keep things vibrant. And those are the Gansai Tambi Kuretake watercolours. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. They're very well loved. I absolutely love to use those. As you can see, they're quite old now. So I'll just use my scalpel there to lift the tricky little bit around the word so I don't get paint on my word chasing. And I'm just blotting up a little bit where the red bled a bit too much into the other colours. I do like them to bleed together, but not too much. So again, I'm just plotting out where I want things to go on my page, and I'm just using some watercolour pencils to work out where the colours will sit on the page. And these are Derwent Rexall watercolour pencils. So once I take my cut file back off, I'll be able to see where I want each colour to go. So just going back in again with my watercolour paints and adding my rainbow back in, and again starting with yellow and working out from there. I quite like the look of a rainbow bleeding down onto the page. I think that's really effective. So plotting those colours in, blending them together, letting them bleed together. Don't want anything to look too neat. I'll probably go back and add some splatters and things as well. And there's my painted rainbow. So I'm just hitting that with my heat gun. Really liking how that's looking. I think that looks really cute. And so letting that dry a little bit. That paper was pre-treated with gesso. So I've just used a bit of kitchen roll just to lift that onto the page because it was still a little bit damp. And I've just put it where I want to have that sitting. And I'm adding some sticks to adhesive foam just to the very bottom of that torn top layer. I find it lifts the bottom of that layer up off the page and gives it quite a bit of dimension. I like how that looks. And I'm just ruffling up that torn edge. I don't like things to look too neat on my pages. It would not be me. I am not a neat person. So just getting lots of texture by ruffling that up and getting those backing papers off, which I find really tricky to get off for some reason. I have to use a scalpel most of the time. And I do stick that to the page with my tape runner, which was a mistake. And I should have known that. Tape runners don't really like to stick to gesso very well. So in the end, I actually, off camera, stick that back with glue. So here I'm using my T-square ruler to make sure that my cut file is stuck on nice and straight. I didn't want it to be wonky. And initially I had planned to back that word rainbows with one of the other papers from the collection, but I actually really liked how the white word looked against that background watercolour peeking through the open word. So I'm sticking that down. I didn't want to get any glue or anything on my hands, so I'm using a bit of kitchen roll just to secure that down. And I'm adding back in the inner pieces of the rainbow. Those are propped up on foam as well, just so that they pop up off the page. So just making sure that those are well stuck down. And I think it's the next day now, so I've changed my jumper. So I've picked my photo and I'm working out where I want that to sit. I have not been literal choosing my photo. I've chosen a photo from us visiting a festival because I like the colours in it. But I also kind of liked how, you know, the festival was always really colourful, and we unfortunately couldn't go in 2020 because of the pandemic. So I liked the fact that Chasing Rainbows was about the fact that we were really missing that little festival that we used to go to. So I'm sticking my photo down. I've just reinforced that with some white card, and I've stuck that down with some glue. I really like Hobbycraft tacky glue for my projects. It's really cheap as well. It's really good. And I'm working out where I want my cloud ephemera to sit. I definitely wanted to use these clouds because obviously I've gone for the cloud background paper. So I'm just working out where I want those to sit and prop that up on a little bit of foam, and again with some glue. And when I initially tucked it behind to see how it looked, it reactivated some of the red paint. So there's a bit of red paint on that cloud there, which I have to disguise now. So hiding it down behind the photo. So I'm liking how that's looking. And now I have moved on to writing my journaling because I couldn't decide where to put that other cloud. So I use a gold Signo Uniball pen, gel pen, to write my journaling on there. And what I'm doing there is I'm just going around the word chasing with a grey fine liner pen. You can't really see it in person, it's not obvious, but it does make the cut file stand out against the background. So I do that sometimes. And I'm working out where I want that sun. I definitely want that on there. I'm going through the lovely ephemera. I love this collection, it's so pretty. So I just spend a lot of time embellishing the page. I've cropped out an awful lot of that footage because it will be here all day. I could spend hours embellishing. So I'm adding some of these lovely little heart ephemera and some of the flowers in from the collection. Just fussy cutting a flower and adding that to the top of my rainbow word. So there I'm adding in some little polymer clay hearts, which are from Little Things by Lucy's Cards, and I'm adding those on with some Glossy Accents glue. Love those little hearts. I've got them sort of sprinkled all the way up the page. And I liked how that little banner was looking on the left-hand side there. I thought it brought some of the more vibrant colours over across onto the left-hand side. And I thought that the little sort of bunting aspect suited the fact that the photo was about a festival, the journaling and everything was all about a festival. I thought it had quite a folksy vibe. So I do decide to put that there. I like how that's looking. And so I'm still going through, working out where I want my embellishments to go. I love hearts at the moment. And so there's lots more going on there. So I really like adding mixed media to a cut file. It's something that I do quite a lot, and it really does change the look of a cut file instead of backing it, which you can see here. It's quite a unique look. It will never turn out the same twice, which is what I love mixed media for. And there's my finished project. You can see that you can't really see the grey fine line around the word chasing, but it helps it to stand up off the page. And I love how that colourful rainbow looks against the word rainbows. And that's my finished project.